What is happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Another beautiful morning in Dubai. I'm going to be doing a raw video today discussing the reasons why some people will never get into shape and why some people absolutely nail it and get into the best shape of their lives. I feel like I'm obviously well qualified to speak about this. I've been training myself for 15 years at this point, and I've worked with hundreds of people, mostly men from all different backgrounds, some really, really busy people, and I've seen people get into absolutely unbelievable shape. I've seen people who I never thought would get into shape, get into unbelievable shape, and then I've seen people flop and just not execute and not be able to make it work. There's so many things that I could go into in this video as to why some people get into shape and others don't, but I'm just going to focus on two main things. And the first thing is, some people just actually don't want to get into shape. Even if they think they do, they really just don't. And I've really been, I guess, made aware of this over the last few years with online coaching. I've genuinely had multiple people pay me for our program, whether that is monthly or pay up front for a block to work with me and my team, and then they've done nothing. They have not even done a workout. They've not even stuck to a week of what we've given them in terms of training and nutrition. And that just goes to show me that you can have all the money in the world, you can pay a personal trainer, you can pay a coach, but you actually have to want to get into shape. And getting in shape and what that actually means, it means different things to different people. So for me, like, being in shape is a combination of everything. It's being fit, it's looking athletic, it's being strong, it's being mobile, it's being pain-free, but it's also looking really good, having a low body fat percentage and looking a certain way so I can make my way in the industry. For some of the men that I work with who are a little bit older than me, for them being in shape is just being a little bit fitter, being a little bit healthier, so they've got more energy so that they can spend time and do activities with their family. Being in shape for some of our clients literally means getting really, really lean and building muscle. It can mean different things to different people, but there has to be a reason as to why you want to get in shape. Those are my reasons. Those are the other people's reasons that I've mentioned before. And yeah, it just shows that, like, you can pay, you can put money forward, but that can't motivate you and force you to execute on what you need to do. And for example, like, the deliverables of our program would be doing the amount of training that we set you every single week, sticking to the nutrition targets, communicating with me and the team, letting us know whether we need changes made. There is a commitment when you are getting in shape, whether you're doing it yourself or whether you're working with a team. And I think there's a lot of content being posted online at the moment, especially on Instagram and YouTube. Basically, coaches trying to make people believe that it's really, really easy to get in shape. I do think it is easier than a lot of people make out, but at the same time, it's not easy. It's a commitment. It's a time commitment. You know, it is a sacrifice. You could be doing other things when you're training, when you're tracking your nutrition, these sorts of things. But as I said before, people that do really well, they actually want to be in shape and they value being in shape, whether that is simply just to look great, to attract a partner, or whether it is to be more capable and have more energy to spend time with your family, whatever it is. The second thing, I want to keep this video relatively short because I'll be at the gym in about 5 to 10 minutes. The second reason for people not getting into shape is because they don't actually have a system to keep them adherent and hold them accountable. And I've really realized this with the busier people that I've worked with, because when I was younger, I had a good amount of free time. You know, it wasn't a huge sacrifice for me to go to the gym for an hour, hour and a half each evening. Whereas for the busier people that I work with, they're highly stressed. There's always something to do with their work. They could always be doing other things other than training. So they need an efficient system, plan, and accountability in place to hold them accountable, to make them do the work, or to support them, to help them do the work. And what I mean by that is you've got to have a system that encompasses everything that it involves to get you in good shape. So that is training, nutrition, recovery, and mindset to some extent. So if we break those down, training wise, you need to follow a training plan that is realistic for your schedule. So if you want to spend time with your family, it's highly unlikely that you're going to want to go to the gym 6 or 7 days a week. So a lot of our best clients that get the best results, that are the most adherent, over a long period of time, they train just 3 to 4 times a week. I've got other videos on training splits and programs and things like that. But if we were to break down a 3-day split, that could look something like upper body, lower body, full body, getting exposure to each major muscle group twice per week to allow you to build muscle mass, build strength, and keep your metabolism in a good spot. And when we go back to systems and accountability, you know, I'll work closely with my clients. I'll want to understand about them, understand about their routine. You know, when are they traveling? When are their busiest days of work? And how can we place their training throughout their week on the days where they are most likely to get the training done? So a lot of our clients will want to spend time with their families on the weekend. So we try and encourage them to get most of their training done Monday to Friday, so they have more time. If we look at it from a nutrition point of view, again, this will be personalized to what works the best for that person, that individual. Some clients that I work with, they have the luxury of being able to pay for someone to prep their food, so they can completely delegate pretty much the whole nutrition side of things to me writing the plan and to someone to actually prepare the food. For some people, they prep all their own food, so they have to allocate the time to do that throughout the week. Some people like to make just educated decisions and choices when they're eating out more, when they're traveling. So it's a different approach for everyone, but you've got to have a system in place that works for you. If I look at my own nutrition, I'll order my food once a day from a meal prep service. I will order my breakfast once a day at the gym, and then I will prepare usually my dinner myself. So that's the way that I like to do my nutrition, and that is pretty much on autopilot. It's on repeat. It happens pretty much every single day. So that is the system that works for me. I don't have accountability in place for my nutrition because I'm very self-motivated, but some people who are working towards, let's say, maybe a weight loss goal or a fat loss goal where the targets might be a little bit restricted, they're going to have that accountability in place from a coach like myself to make sure that they achieve the result. I do have accountability in place and a system and a structure of my training because I work with a coach myself. And lastly, if we look at recovery, I think when people say recovery, they think of, you know, foam rollers, ice baths, saunas, all these sorts of things. And yes, those tools do have a place in your routine. But I think recovery with my clients, of course we go into that with some of them, but it's more about just making sure they have the time in their calendar to de-stress from all the work that they're doing, and when they're not training, and making sure that they're actually kind of like looking after themselves. Because I think the main thing with these kind of high performers is they don't have any time throughout the week to focus on downtime and focus on recovery. So a few things that I like to do: I do utilize the sauna occasionally the ice bath. I have compression boots and things like that, but for me it's just switching off in the evenings and trying to have a rest day each week. So as I say, we could have gone into a lot more depth on a lot of things there, but I would say there's two main things that affect people's ability to get in good shape. And the first thing would be they simply just don't want to get into shape in the first place because they don't have a deeper reason and a deeper desire to actually want to get in shape. And then secondly, a lot of people lack an actual system and structure and accountability to some extent to actually getting the work done that needs to be done to get in shape. So training, nutrition and recovery. And again, training needs to fit around your lifestyle. It should be able to be adhered to when you travel as well. Nutrition, again, a personalized approach needs to be taken to that. For some people it's not realistic and they can't afford to order meal prep every single day. Some people can do that. Some people like to cook which way works for you. You need to figure that out, but you need to make sure that you're hitting your macros and your calories. I didn't mention that before. And then recovery, making sure that you've got time in your diary, in your calendar, to actually come down into that relaxed state so you can actually adjust to the training that you're doing, which will allow you to get in shape as well. Because if you're overstressed and you're doing too much, you're never going to respond well. So I hope you found this video useful, a little bit of a different one, just kind of one cuff, one take, but hopefully you take something from it. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do so.